importantly here, let's get our timing marker back on top dead center for number 1. There it is right there.
We need to be on this top dead center mark for cylinders 1 and 4 for the duration of the assembly. I'm going to put some engine oil on this camshaft before I set it in place. And the cams there and the journals, and then a little bit on that tachometer bevel drive there too. That reminds me that when I put the valve cover on, I need to check to see if that seal for that tach drive cable needs to be replaced. Let me get my fancy bungee cord cam chain holder out of the way, because we're about to slip this cam back into place, back into its holder. And we're going to do that by starting from the cylinder number 4 side. So that's actually the right side of the motor, even though I'm looking at it backwards, but that's the right side, the number 4 side. And a thing that we'll talk about later, I got pretty good at putting these camshafts in and out of this motor. And the one thing I learned that not quite seen here is that sprocket should be up as high as it will go while you're sticking it in there and leaned all the way over to the right. And that'll make it pass through with a little less struggle. Not that this is a big problem, but I got better at it. And now we need to slip that chain over that sprocket holder there where it bolts on. Get this camshaft sitting in all 4 of its spaces there on the ends and then the 2 in the middle. And suddenly it'll drop into place properly. Like there it was right there. So the cam chain needs to be over the top of that sprocket. So it's just something you got to fiddle around with for a few minutes. There we go. Now it's coming along. Now we'll set it in place. Come on now. There we go. All right. And then lastly, we need to get the cam chain onto that sprocket. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Next, I want to get my sprocket lined up with where it bolts onto the camshaft there. And man, you cannot drop that bolt down there. That's going to be a real struggle to get out if you do. So there's that. Next thing is to install the rocker arms. First, we're going to put them on the shafts. I'm glad I labeled these with my blue painter's tape because they've shifted around a little bit on my layout table. And this was a help. All these little things to help take some of the guesswork out of what we're doing here. Make sure we get all the painter's tape off. We don't need this clogging up our oil passageways. And I just want to add a little oil to the rocker shafts. Oops, dropped it on my book again. Get those lubed up. Put this one here. get that one started, and then this one here. Oh, you know what? I wanted to put a little oil inside. That'll do. One, two, three, four. Brush in a little oil. Spread it around nicely. And let's see now. We are going, so that's intake 2, intake 1. Like this. Pretty tight fit here, isn't it? Well, it should be. Persuader, gently. There we go. This is wrong. This is intake. I was wondering why they, yeah. So this is exhaust. That's exhaust. Okay. I was wondering why this was a little long here on the sides. What do you know? Another whoopsie. All right, let's just pop these out of here. How do I know which was which here? Oh, shoot. Intake 3 and intake 4. So I put this on 3. Okay. So what I wanted was that. That's 3. And that's 4. and that was wrong because they were only halfway on top of the valve here. And it only needs to move by a couple thousandths, right? So, like that might do it. Ooh. Okay. Good. Okay, we're going to give another check of our timing marks. We're on T1, top dead center for 1 and 4. That key chuck pointed straight up at 12 o'clock. And those index markers are in line with the cam cap that's about to go in there. That will also have an MZ stamped in it, a Mike Zulu. And I'll just leave this tape on here for the next guy. No point in making him do all that again. So all of our rockers are on correctly. You know, I marked them. Still a good idea, but they really do only go on one way. It's possible to screw it up, but you know, these valves point in a direction here. So if they're moved over, they're not going to be like that. They're going to be like that, and you'll see it because this valve will be halfway off of this valve stem. I mean, this rocker will be halfway off of the valve stem. So, you know, they do sort of only go in one direction. And this rocker arm is longer than this rocker arm. So, you know, the thing that you could get wrong is you can have these two, 1 and 2, you could accidentally have them on 3 and 4. And you could reverse, you know, 3 and 4 and have them on 1 and 2. But you can't really cross these up. You can get it wrong as pairs. So that didn't happen. These are where they came from. And we want that to happen because these rockers are wearing together with these cam lobes. So they will keep running consistently and smooth. Our marks are good. And it is time to put in these rocker bolts, including our new insert. There's not a torque for these rocker box bolts here, but the cam caps on the ends are 6.5 to 9.4. So I'll probably do that. For now, I'm just going to give them a bit of a hand. Tighten here. Make sure that our new rubbers are crushed down. The new pucks and the new O-rings are flattened out here. Okay, these are tight already, including our new helicoil insert, gripping nice and tight. Oh, I have to tighten the 2 bolts that are holding on the sprocket. Wouldn't want to forget that. Okay, nice and tight. That's what I went with.
And time to install the all the cam caps here. This is the all important matched one. Here it is, MZ. Prime that with some oil. That's on. Okay, this is torqued to 9.5. It doesn't make it over the top of that. Wait a minute, is this the wrong one? Hold on a second here. I'm not sure what to do here. I don't really have anything to fit over the top of this. Let me just, okay, so I'll torque what I can anyway. All right, these needed a tap down to be seated into place better. And then I finally figured out the correct bolts. They're a little longer than you would think, but they have a long way to go. They have to go, so these are the bolts back here. They have to go all the way through all of this and then down into the, you know, the casting, the block part too. So that makes sense now. Just going to snug these up and get them seated correctly. I'm not sure what to do here. I don't really have anything to fit over the top of this. Let me just, okay, so I'll torque what I can anyway. Something's wrong. Yep, something's wrong, all right. Well, hit subscribe and follow along. Part 20 starts out with the seasoned rider thoroughly disgusted.